Kabyle or Kabylian is a Berber language spoken by the Kabyle people in the north and northeast of Algeria. It is spoken primarily in Kabylie, east of Algiers, and in the capital Algiers, but also by various groups near Blida, such as the Beni Salah and Beni Yaqob, extinct. Estimates about the number of speakers range from 5 million to about 7 million speakers worldwide, the majority in Algeria. Classification: Kabyle is a northern Berber language part of the Afro-Asiatic family. Geographic distribution: Kabyle Berber is native to Kabylie, it is present in 7 Algerian districts. Approximately one-third of Algerians are Berber speakers, clustered mostly near Algiers, in Kabylian and Shawi, but with some communities in the west, east and south of the country. Kabyles are the largest Berber group in Algeria, but may not constitute a majority. The populations of Bar Copyright Jaw, Bouira and Ziouzo provinces are in majority Kabyle-speaking. Kabyle is mainly spoken in the provinces of Boumerds, and as well as in Bordj Bou Ararij, Zar Copyright Tif, Jijel, and in Algiers where it coexists with Algerian Arabic. Kabyle Berber is also spoken as a native language among the Algerian Kabyle-descended diaspora in European and North American cities. It is estimated that half of Kabyles live outside the Kabylian region. Official status: the Berber language is recognized since the mid-2000s in the Algerian constitution as a national language, but not as an official language. The Arabic language is still the only de jure official language of Algeria. French is not recognized in any legal document of Algeria but enjoys a de facto position of an official language as it is used in every Algerian official administration or institution, at all levels of the government, sometimes much stronger than Arabic. The Berber language faces an unfavorable environment, despite a public radio, as well as a public TV channel. Since private ownership of TV channels is illegal in Algeria, Kabyles have launched a private Kabyle-speaking TV channel, called Berber Television, that broadcasts from Montreal, Saint-Denis in France. In 1994, Kabyle pupils and students boycotted Algerian schools for a year, demanding the officialization of Berber, leading to the symbolic creation of the Haute Commissariat à la Musique et copyright in 1995. Berber was subsequently taught as a non-compulsory language in Berber-speaking areas. The course being optional, few people attend. President Bouteflika has frequently stated that Tamaz will never be an official language, and if it has to be a national language, it must be submitted to a referendum. In 2005, President Bouteflika stated that there is no country in the world with 2 official languages, and this will never be the case of Algeria. Nevertheless, after 4 decades of pacific struggle, riots, strikes, and social mobilization, including the Berber Spring and the Black Spring in 2001, President Bouteflika and his government stepped back and submitted to the Kabylie pressure and ended recognizing the Amaz as a national language without a referendum. Varieties. From west to east, some linguists distinguish 4 zones characterized by 3 distincter Euro, but mutually intelligibly Euro pronunciations in the following regions: at the west of Tziginiv, Kabylie of the Jura, Somme Valley and the zone starting from Bijor to the east. Phonology: the phonemes below reflect the pronunciation of Kabyle. Vowels. Kabyle has 3 phonemic vowels. IO copyright is used to write the epenthetic schwa vowel, a unregistered trademark which occurs frequently in Kabyle. Historically it is thought to be the result of a pan-Berber reduction or merger of 3 other vowels. The phonetic realization of the vowels, especially, is influenced by the character of the surrounding consonants. Emphatic consonants invite a more open realization of the vowel, for example Oru equals, see currency Ru stone versus Amud equals, a mud seed. Often /a, I, U / are realized as, a, e, ish. Consonants equals. Assimilation: in the Kabyle language there are various accents which are the result of assimilations. Some of these assimilations are present among all Kabyle dialects, and some not. These assimilations are not noted in writing, such as, Aksham n Wergaz is pronounced either an Aksham n Wergaza, an Aksham bb Wergaza, or an Aksham pp Wergaza. d to kicked is pronounced to kicked a. Here is a list of some of these assimilations: dt plus t equals ts, n plus w equals bbpp, I plus y equals ig. Gemination affects the quality of certain consonants, turning semivowels and fricatives into stops. In particular, geminated e pound becomes qq, geminated y becomes gg, and geminated w becomes bb. Fricatives versus stops. Kabyle is mostly composed of fricatives, phonemes which are originally stops in other Berber languages, but in writing there is no difference between fricatives and stops. Below is a list of fricatives versus stops and when they are pronounced. Writing system. The most ancient Berber writings were written in the Libyco-Berber script. Such writings have been found in Kabylie and continue to be discovered by archaeologists. In fact, the finer alphabet disappeared in the 7th century, when Latin became the official and administrative language in North Africa. The first Franco-Euro-Kabyle dictionary was compiled by a French ethnologist in the 18th century. It was written in the Latin script with an orthography based on that of French. However, the Kabyle language really became a written language again in the beginning of the 19th century. Under French influence, Kabyle intellectuals began to use the Latin script. Tamakiat en Wuxen by Brahim Zelil was one of the first Kabyle books written using this alphabet. After the independence of Algeria, some Kabyle activists tried to revive the Libyco-Berber script, which is still in use by the Tuareg. Attempts were made to modernize the writing system by modifying the shape of the letters and by adding vowels, but its use remains limited to logos. Kabyle literature continued to be written in the Latin script. This new version of Tifinagh has been called Neo-Tifinagh and has been adopted as the official script of Berber languages in Morocco. Moulaud Mameri codified a new orthography for the writing of the Kabyle language which avoided the use of the archaic French orthography. His script has been adopted by all Berber linguists, the INALCO and the Algerian HCA. It uses diacritics and two letters from the extended Latin alphabet, OEC section E pound ENA to the first corporation to the first pound A to the first AA. Grammar. Nouns equals, Kabyle has two genders, masculine and feminine. As in most Berber languages, masculine nouns and adjectives generally start with a vowel, while feminine nouns generally start with T and end with AT, for example AQCIC boy versus to kicked girl. Plurals generally are formed by replacing initial A with I, and either suffixing N, changing vowels within the word, or both. Examples: Argazierges and men, Adra Udura mountain, Aphas Ifasan hands. As in all Berber languages, Kabyle has two types of states or cases of the noun, free state and construct state. The free state is morphologically unmarked. The construct state is derived either by changing initial to, loss of initial vowel in some feminine nouns, addition of a semi-vowel word initially, or in some cases no change occurs at all. Adra mountain, Tamdint to Temdint town, Tmurt country, Isifa Wasif river, Eels tongue, Tadart to Tadart village. As in central Morocco Tamazight, construct state is used for subjects placed after their verbs, after prepositions, in noun complement constructions, and after certain numerals. Kabyle also places nouns in construct state when they head a noun phrase containing a co-referential bound pronoun earlier in the utterance. Examples: Free Yawat Aqcic. He has beaten a boy. Annexed, Yawat Weqcic. The boy has beaten. After a preposition, all nouns take their annexed state, free state, aman, kazen waman. Verbs are conjugated for three tenses, the preterite, intensive aorist and the future. Unlike other Berber languages, the aorist alone is rarely used in Kabyle. Weak verbs have a preterite form that is the same as their aorist. Examples of weak verbs that follow are conjugated at the first person of the singular, strong verbs, or irregular verbs. Verbs are conjugated for person by adding affixes. These suffixes are static and identical for all tenses. The epenthetic vowel e may be inserted between the affix and the verb. verbs are always marked for subject and may also inflect for person of direct and indirect object. Examples: a you pound it. A euro he bought it. A yen yaz. A euro he said to him. A yivka yaz tea. A euro he gave it to him. Kabyle is a satellite-framed-based language. Kabyle verbs use two particles to show the path of motion, d orients toward the speaker, and could be translated as here, n orients toward the interlocutor or toward a certain place, and could be translated as there. Examples: alaruyenda, alaruyena, aoyd amana, ayn amana. Kabyle usually expresses negation in two parts, with the particle er attached to the verb, and one or more negative words that modify the verb or one of its arguments. For example, simple verbal negation is expressed by oera before the verb and the particle ara after the verb, a euro pound a euro pound aria. Other negative words are used in combination with to express more complex types of negation. This system developed via Jesperson's cycle. Verb derivation is performed by adding affixes. There are three types of derivation forms: causative, reflexive and passive. Causative, obtained by prefixing the verb with s/sse/su. Ffe pound to go out as suffi pound to make to go out, xum to enter as xum to make to enter, to introduce, irid to be washed desired to wash. Reflexive, obtained by prefixing the verb with m/my, e/mya. A to see a to see each other, a to the first f to hold a u to the first af to hold each other. Passive, is obtained by prefixing the verb with ttu/ttwa/tt/m, e/n/nn. Cres to plough, a twakres to be ploughed, a to eat, a mere to be eaten. Complex forms, obtained by combining two or more of the previous prefixes. Pound to kill and pound to kill each other, as pound to make to kill each other. Interestingly, two prefixes can cancel each other. Ens to be sold, as zenz to sell, a choosens to be sold. Every verb has a corresponding agent noun. In English it could be translated into verb plus a. It is obtained by prefixing the verb with ama, or with an a if the first letter is b/f/m/w. Examples: a to the first f to hold, ana to the first af holder, inig to travel, a minig traveller, x to graze, a amax a shepherd. Verbal nouns are derived differently from different classes of verbal stems. Often a or t, u, is prefixed. Fffer to hide, a tufra hiding, a tufra n tied it, a telly a euro hiding the truth as bad, pound a to buy, to a or, zdi to be united as day, need to say a timena. Pronouns pronouns may either occur as standalone words or bound to nouns or verbs. Example: a euladinek. A euro me too. Possessive pronouns are bound to the modified noun. Example: an akshxamnne pound. A euro a house. There are three demonstratives: near-deictic, far-deictic and absence. They may either be suffixed to nouns, or appear in isolation. Examples: an akshxama/akshxamajaya a euro this house. A wagiyalhora euro this is nice. Prepositions prepositions precede their objects. I medina to the people, a sy tadata from the village. All words preceded by a preposition take the annex state. Some prepositions have two forms, one is used with pronominal suffixes and the other form is used in all other contexts, for example ger between a gar. Some prepositions have a corresponding relative pronoun, for example, ai for to aai wumia to whom, atfklaxamayamsika she gave meat to the cat an amsik I wumit the cat to whom she gave meat. Syntax negation, predicative particle d. The predicative particle d is an indispensable tool in speaking Kabyle. D is equivalent to both it is plus adjective, and to be plus adjective, but cannot be replaced by the verb illy. It is always followed by a noun in free state. Examples: d to kicked it's a girl, dnkk it's me, nkk d argas I'm a man, I der danlmad I der is a student, Ida yellow danlmad Ida was a student. The predicative particle d should not be confused with the particle of coordination d. Indeed, the former is followed by a noun at its annex state while the first is always followed by a noun at its restate. Vocabulary. Kabyle has absorbed quite some Arabic and Latin vocabulary. According to Salim Chaker, about a third of Kabyle vocabulary is of foreign origin. The amount of French loanwords has not been studied yet. These loanwords are sometimes Berberized and sometimes kept in their original form. The Berberized words follow the regular grammar of Kabyle. Examples of Berberized Arabic or French words: kitab takt book, machine tamasant machine. Many loanwords from Arabic have often a different meaning in Kabyle: el mal money lmal domestic animals. All verbs of Arabic origin follow a Berber conjugation and verbal derivation, fhem to understand, sephem to explain. Only the first two numbers are Berber. For higher numbers, Arabic is used. They are iwan 1, sin 2. The noun being counted follows it in the genitive, sinenuges and two men. Sample text, in Molières, Les Forbres de Sigia. Note: the predicative particle d was translated as it is, the particle of direction d was translated as here. References. Bibliography, Yaqob, a 1996 Lenar copyright Phonology Lexicale Berberi, Paris Louvain, Editions Peters, 1996. Yaqob, a 1998 Langue Berberi. Introduction à la notation usuelle en caractères latins, Paris, Editions Hogger. Efemausit Hamidkai and M. Launasi, Kabyle de Poche, Assimil, France, ISBN 2-7005-0324-4, Benchabain, About Africa, a copyright brand La Kabylie. Algeria Watch. Retrieved March 19, 2010. Creasels, Dennis. The Construct Form of Nouns in African Languages, a Typological Approach. 36th Colloquium on African Languages and Linguistics. Retrieved March 21, 2010. Dollett, Jean-Marie. 1982. Dictionnaire Kabylie Eurofrana Sectionnaise, Parla Desert Mangelet, Alga Copyright Rai. A Permeltudes Etholinguistiques Mariba Euro-Sahara 1, Sereds. Salim Chaker, and Marceau Gast. Paris, Socia Copyright Tar Copyright da Copyright Tudes Linguistiques et Anthropologiques de France. Hamid Hamama N.D. Manuel de Grammaire Berberi. Paris, Edition Association de Culture Berberi. Kamelnet Zarad. Grammaire moderne du Kabyle, Tajramt Tatrad ente Kabylit. Editions Carthala, 2001. ISBN 978-84586-172-5, Lucas, Christopher, Jesperson Cycle in Arabic and Berber, Transactions of the Philological Society 105, retrieved March 22, 2010, Mummery, M. 1976 Tajramt ent Maisie Pound T, Maspero, Paris. Norti Zarad, K. 1994 Manuel de Conjugaison Kabyle, La Euro Unregistered Trademark Harmattan, Paris. Norti Zarad, K. 1995 Grammaire du Berberi Contemporain, IA Morphology, ENAG, Alger. Salim Chaker. 1983. Parla Berberi Dlga Copyright Rai, Syntax. Provence, Université Copyright de Provence. Tzi Wuxen. Mar Copyright Faute Audiovisuelle de Langue Berberi, Aix-en-Provence, Edisud, 1986. External links. Kabyle Music, an ALCO report on Kabyle, see also, 1, and, 2, Negative Preterite, the negative preterite in Kabyle Berber. Kabyle on globalrecordings.net. Websites in Kabyle Kabylia Observer / Emayura.com, Tamazite fr. Tamasni.org. MAK, Taimanatite Merdenik Velayan, Kabylepedia. Online dictionaries Kabylie Euro French and Frinka Euro Kabyle Dictionary, MAK, Denam.
Glossary of Neologisms by Imdusen.